So ladies and gents, we have a brand new smartphone review for you today, and this product is a bezel-less phone with Android 7, a fingerprint sensor, 3 GB of RAM, and it's all for under £85. Let's go. Remember to subscribe to the channel and hit that little notification bell if you're new and want to be notified every time I post a new video. Also, if you are interested in any of the best and latest deals on devices, whether that be smartphones, Android boxes, tablets, laptops and PCs, etc., and also some great deals on some of the best VPNs, please check out the video description below. All the information will be left there. So ladies and gents, welcome back to a brand new video. And like I said, today we're talking about an Android smartphone which is under £85. And it is called VK Mix Plus. If after watching this review you want more information, or indeed you actually want to go and purchase it, all the information will be left in the video description below. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick look at some of the specs on the back. So as you can see here, just a couple of the main points. We've got 3 GB of RAM, 32 GB of storage. It's got a 5.5-inch display, which is nearly bezel-less. Again, we'll get to that. Android 7, 2 cameras front and back, etc, etc, etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to unbox this little Mix Plus. But this one today I'm quite interested in because it is ridiculously cheap, to be honest, when looking at some of the aspects of this phone. So let's see whether that price is indeed reflected in the quality of the product. So on the front, VKWorld in gold. You've seen the back and there's not really much else on the box. So we open it up and the first thing you'll see is this little casing here. So we'll take that off and you've got covers on the front and back to stop scratching, which is nice. Let's just read the back because it actually tells you some of the things that are on this phone. So you've got the microphone down here. We've got one speaker on one side. Now I have actually tested the sound on this and it's okay for an £85 phone. It's not the best though. When you go right to the top volume, it does get pretty loud, but it also gets a little bit crackly, a little bit tinny, so definitely something to not push when you're using this phone. You've got a power button there and the volume rockers up and down. As you can see, they're all in like a straight line. So you've got your main camera there, flash, fingerprint scanner, SIM card slot here, dual SIM, and you've got your headphone jack and USB port to charge. So it is micro USB to charge, which isn't ideal. I prefer Type-C. And of course, the headphone jack there is a bonus for a lot of people. A lot of phones now are going to the no headphone jack. This one has it in abundance. Well, not abundance, it's got one. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll just peel off that little sticker there, and we will also peel off this one here. And as you can see, that looks quite premium. It's fairly heavy in the hand. Now, I'm going to try and get through this review without fingerprint smudging all over it, because this is, as you can see, it's an absolute gloss fest, if that's a term. It's going to absolutely cake in fingerprints. So I would personally throw a case on it, and then of course you don't have problems. Underneath you've just got the VKWorld, designed by VKWorld, made in China. It's fairly simplistic. I personally would probably just go without a logo, to be honest. I don't think that VKWorld is necessarily the nicest looking logo. Not slagging you off, VKWorld. On the front, again, fairly clean. I will obviously turn it on and show you the display and everything in a second, but I just wanted to point out the selfie camera on the bottom. Now, one of the main problems again with having a bezel-less screen is that the camera is either slap bang on the top in a little cutout, or it's on the bottom bezel. And having used the Xiaomi Mi Mix 2 for quite a while now, the one biggest gripe still for me is not having the dual camera on the back and having the front-facing shooter on the bottom bezel. It does get quite tricky to sort of turn it round when you're trying to do selfies and stuff. Not that I do selfies all the time, but I might do one for this video though with this phone. We'll see. Right, so we're just going to put that to one side and we're going to see what else is in this box. So you get a little booklet saying VKWorld and, oh, that's not a very well packaged VKWorld. Come on. That could have had somebody's eye out. Imagine if my baby or my cat was on the floor below me and that fell out. Shame on you, VKWorld. So that's in it. So you've got your SIM ejector tool there. You've got that little rubber thing which houses the phone. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, yes. Good shout, VKWorld. Not the best packaged stuff. It's kind of a bit jumbled in here. But you do have your charger there. And you have your charging cable. So that's that there. And we have another booklet, which is a bit of a manual. And we have a screen protector, which, is it blue? Surely not blue. No, it is actually clear underneath. And you have your case. Silicon case, nice and easy. So what we'd do is we'd simply slip that on the back there. That's quite nice. Looks okay. No cutouts on the side, but you do have little bubbles on there so you know where your power and your volume rockers are. Cutouts for the top. And yeah, all in all, happy with that. But now you wanted to see the display, and that is it in all its glory. What do you think of that? I mean, is that something that's going to take your breath away, or is it something you're going to be like, well, it's still an IPS panel, it's not AMOLED, it's Gorilla Glass 2.5D, it's not 4 or 5, so it's one of those. I personally, again, for £85, think that display is actually really quite good. And for the 720p screen, it looks a bit sharper than that to me. I mean, I honestly think that some people might actually be misled by this and think it's a 1080p. So that's, you know, they've done pretty well with that screen. What I am actually impressed with is the actual bezel-less display. And the reason why is because actually seeing how a bigger budgeted brand in Xiaomi that made the Mi Mix 2, they struggled this time round making the Mi Mix 2 as bezel-less almost as the first edition, the Xiaomi Mi Mix 1. The Xiaomi Mi Mix 2 actually looks to me like it's got bigger bezels on the top and side. So actually this is really impressive. You do have your speaker grill at the top on the display there as well. So in terms of voice calls and stuff, you're not going to have problems with under the display sound technology. The actual software on it is Android 7.0 and it is pretty much stock. And again, one of the best things about this phone that a lot of other phones in this sort of category, this price category, or even phones in general, the amount of bloatware that comes with this is absolutely incredible. There's basically nothing. The only thing that I've added is the benchmark apps and the AnyTrans app. That's the only 3 apps that I've added. One strange thing, it just cycles through. You might find that good, you might not. I just found it odd because most phones, you swipe one way and there's an edge. You can't go any further when you go through the sort of widget screens that you've got selected. This one, keep going through, which is interesting. So possibly, like I said, a good thing or a bad thing, up to you. So you've got the settings bar at the top there. You've got Bluetooth on here, which is Bluetooth 4.0. You can also add up to 32 gigabytes of external storage as well. So now that handy thing about this phone that some phones in this category don't. As you can see, it takes... Oh, that's a horrible noise. I'm not going to lie. I'd get rid of that for a start. To be honest though, for the price, again, it does take some pretty nice photos. The clarity is really good. The color composition is pretty true to life. It's not massively oversaturated. Obviously got the face beauty as well, which a lot of cameras are using at the moment, where you've got kind of like the blurred background. It is a little bit jerky when you're moving the actual camera around. So it will, you know, occasionally you'll get an out of focus shot, especially if you are moving and stuff like that, which isn't ideal. But again, I mean, it's £90, £100. I mean, that's, you know, you can live with that, I think. Let's just try the selfie camera while we're there. And it says, please select the phone front camera at the top. Shoot the more beautiful you. Questionable English there, but anyway, yeah. So you just do that, and so yeah, you have to turn the phone upside down in order to get that. Look at the little sparkles on the side of my face there. But let's just try this. So let's just take a look at that. See, then you have to turn the phone back around to actually view the photos. So yeah, that does get quite annoying having to turn it around to view the shot. It is quite blurred, I'm not going to lie. This is much more grainy, this 5 megapixel front-facing shooter, so you're not going to get the best selfies. We're on to the fingerprint sensor, and it's a mixed bag, really, as you would expect. It's not the best by a long shot. It's on the back, as you can see there, and when it works, it takes about 2 seconds to flash up. So it takes a good sort of second longer than a more premium phone, for example, and it works most of the time, but if you don't get it bang on in the center, you'll get like a double vibrating, and it just doesn't register. So you need to make sure you are hitting that sensor right in the middle, otherwise it kind of won't work. So battery life, and this is probably an area where this is kind of let down. The battery is only 2,850, so it is smaller. Most phones around this ilk are kind of at least 3,000, between 3,000 and probably 3,300, 3,400 is usually where most phones in this sort of area lie. So it is shy of that, and that is one biggest thing that I would like to see them improve in a future product, because I have noticed that under high performance the battery isn't the best. If that's a trade-off you can deal with for the price, absolutely fantastic because there's a lot of good things to go with this phone. That is definitely one of the negatives. I'm also going to show you now the network bands that this phone actually is compatible with so that you can check to see whether your phone provider, for example, is compatible to use 4G, for example. That is my review of the VKWorld Mix Plus. That's a bit of a mouthful. I'm going to call it the VKMP. If I take out the K and I mix some of the letters around, I could technically call it the MVP. If you are interested in buying this MVP, then of course you can go in the video description below and the link to the website will be there. So let me know in the comment section below what you think about this phone. Do you think that this is an MVP in its range? Do you think for £100 and under, this is the phone that you're going to get? Or would you spend a little bit more money and get a bigger battery? Would you get a better camera? Would you get a selfie camera not on the bottom? All of these things, I'd love to hear what you think about the phones that are currently on the market at the moment compared to this. I will love you and leave you, and I'll see you in the next one. It's ASBYT, peace out.